Hello, welcome. First ever stream ish. Today I'm going to be working on, it's a personal project. It's something that a group of friends started, and it's basically what I'm doing is a little logo for a supper club that we started just a little bit before the pandemic. So obviously things slowed down once that hit, but when we were allowed to, we carried on and cracked on with the supper clubs. So I just thought it'd be nice to make a little bit of a logo for it, something that we can kind of put online and show off what we've been doing. So the idea behind this is that we have a theme. So we started off with a French night and then did an Italian night. And the idea is that it's all about good food, good drinks, and good company. So what I'm going to do today is kind of using a little bit of possibly French influence or maybe Italian influence. I've got a few examples of some old French posters here. I'll just do some custom type, all done in Illustrator. I've done a little bit of sketching as well, which I'll show you in a bit. And then, yeah, we'll just make a logo. And if we get time, we'll possibly put that onto some mock-ups or something like that. So today, it is just going to be a little bit of me just cracking on. There's going to be a lot of me talking to myself, a lot of waffle. But if you've got any questions or if you just want to say hi, feel free to do so in the chat. I'll try and pick them up where I can. So I'm going to get started. Like I said, this supper club that we've got is called Four Corks. That basically came from the fact that there's four of us, and it was just something that was said on the first French night. I think it was over a bottle of Benedictine that Tom picked up. It was a vintage bottle of Benedictine, and it just had some real beautiful cork in there. Bit sad, but yeah. Right. So what I like to start off with is just writing out what the word is. This is mostly because I want to make sure that I spell it right and it gives me something to kind of work from. So I'll do it as a lowercase and an upper as well, just so I can see it there. So like I said, I have got some sketches, and those are them. If you can see that, can that zoom in? Yeah, just about. So I'm going to be working to some sort of style. Like I said, I want it to be sort of French, maybe Italian-esque. But we'll just see what comes. I'm going to try some stuff out. I mean, it's not really about sticking to a theme on this. I just want something that looks nice and looks like it's representative of our group. Okay, so I'm going to go quite fast paced. Like I said, if you want to add any comments in, feel free to do so. I think I'll keep these here because I want it to have a bit of a flow. I don't want it to be too straight and angular. So by putting in those anchor points, I can make it look as though it's been hand drawn, I suppose. And then there'll be a little bit of tweaking to get this looking right as well. Right, basic shape F. Rush through the other letters because I might as well, and then we'll tweak afterwards. So this is going to be an O that's kind of, it doesn't really join. So what I want it to do is potentially move on to the U as well, almost like it's been drawn as a script. So with this style, what I want is something that's a little bit fatter on the horizontals. It's something it's a style that's kind of come back in, but it was sort of quite popular in like Italian design. I think sort of 60s, 70s, maybe even 50s. But yeah, it's quite cool. It's in at the moment. So what that means is that there's the narrow part of it is on the ends, on the edges. So you've got a thinner vertical and a fatter horizontal, as though your pen has been used sideways. Because naturally you should be doing fat on the downstroke, thin on an upstroke, whereas this we're going thin on a vertical stroke, fat on a horizontal stroke, which just gives it a little bit of a different look, a bit more sort of European look, I think. So if anybody's got any questions or suggestions or anything, just give me a shout in the comments. So I'll use this O as a basis for the U again. I kind of like to do that because it just means that you're taking a little bit of work out of things. Okay, because this is going into a lowercase, we need to have like the tail of the U. I don't want the U to come up and make a kind of a cursive R, the one that almost looks like an S. So this section here will be the stem of the R. But I want it to have a little bit of flow. I wonder if I can take that one out. Yeah. And that one. So what I'm expecting from this is that it has a little bit of almost an italic kind of vibe. Maybe not super sort of italic, maybe just a nudge. Sort of like that F. So it looks like it's got a bit of pace, a little bit of speed about it. This top's messing me up a bit. Right, you know what? I'll swap this bit around. So I'll make this the head of that side. That might make things a little bit easier to manage. Then we can get this going in. So unlike the other font where we were making sure that all the angles are correct, this one's a little bit looser, so I'm not worrying so much about that. I just want the shape to look right and nice. Right, that looks like it's got a flow. Now. So keeping in mind that this needs to be fatter on the horizontals and thinner on the verticals. So I want the horizontals to mimic this. You can drop a node in there. Trying really hard not to make this too neat. It needs to have a little bit of natural sort of flow about it, I think, a bit more haphazard flow. Oh yeah, that looks pretty cool. I think. Does it? Right, gonna drop in a linking part here. Not linking park. Linking part. That's horizontal, so it should be fat, shouldn't it? Yes. The link between the R looks like another U. It does a bit, doesn't it? Not sure how I can make it look less like a U, to be honest. Oh, do I bring it in? Does that mad it any more? I don't know, I can't tell. I wonder if it needs to just come a little bit more diagonal. Or have I just made another U? I need to come back to that, I think. Does that still look like a U? Cool. Bit more stylized as well. too much. Okay, see how the corks go. Yeah, it does look a little bit like a W. I think there's always a danger of it looking like a W and a couple of and some U's. Yeah, it's something that I need to work on that shape just to make it a little bit more distinctive. I'm not sure how this C needs to look. Oh, you know what? I've just gone too massive on it, haven't I? So I'll use this O again, but what I'll do is I'll make it just a little bit different because I want it to, again, I want it to look like it's not a font, it's something that's been handwritten. So I just tweak the nodes a little bit, just to add in that point of difference. Sorry, I was on mute. So yeah, what I was saying is that I don't really know what the box method is, and what I do is I put nodes where I need them to be, and that's basically just coming from practice. So with the O, I'll just place nodes where I know that I need them, and then you can manipulate everything into place. But that just kind of comes from practice and sort of knowing what shape you're wanting to get to and what you need to do to get to that shape, obviously. So yeah, that's how I use that. And then I was just saying the original Four Corks one that I did a little while ago, these are all made up of segments, of sections, because it's a serif font. It kind of follows patterns. So you've got serif elements, and then you've got your stems and other bits that you can kind of make into that final shape. And then once you've got that shape, I tend to just what am I trying to say? I'll shape build it, so merge it all together, and then you can manipulate it further if needs be as a final tweak. But it's always good to keep stuff in segments whilst you're working on it, because then you've just got more to go back to. So yeah, I'll check out the box thing from Will. I don't think I've seen that video. I know he does a lot of font work, but yeah, I don't know where it is. I think what I do with this kind of work is I try and mimic the way that I'll actually draw it on paper. You've just got the added bonus here of actually being able to then go back and manipulate it a lot easier, and it's just a lot of clicking and dragging nodes and tweaking things. Yeah, I'll definitely check out the box method, just so I know what I'm talking about next time. So now I've got a bit of a difficulty of how do I get this R to look natural? Because really it should sort of come from the R. I wonder if it'll just gonna take that off there. So it's always good to have duplicates, just so you've got something to go back to, and you don't have to do too much undoing. I'm not sure if that's... Does that work? I don't think so. No, absolutely not. Oh, that might work. So it looks like it's naturally been drawn. So you quick R and then straight into that R. make it into a K now. How do we want to do the K? K is going to be a flourish. So this will be made up of a couple of parts. I think I might try it with a bowl top and then a swooshy R sort of leg. So again, remembering not to forget about the thickness and thinness of each part. It's quite easy to get caught up in what you're doing just in that one instance. Yeah, it's very much the same sort of style as that. I'm quite drawn to that style. It's I think the Rounders one was a little less less free looking. It's got a bit more formula about it. For the Rounders logo, I did a lot more sketching, and then I ended up mostly tracing what I sketched, which worked out really well. It made it a lot faster as well in terms of building the logo type. Yeah, so I totally agree. It's got a very, very similar vibe. So what do we think of that R? Is that... No, not R, sorry, it's a K. Obviously it's not right if I'm thinking it's an R. Does it look like a K? I think I'm getting a bit blind to it now. Needs to be taller, doesn't it? Let's try it with just a more simplified piece up there. Are we more into K territory there? Kind of. I'm not sure I like it though. That's a bit more K-like, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I think you're probably right. The more simplified K would be better for an S. Might end up with too many big details. Ah, come on. Not sure where I'm trying to get to with that. Ah, there. Right. That's what I'm looking for. Right, I think I've found it there. That's right, isn't it? That's a K. Nice. Move this one off. I don't want to get rid of it just in case, but I think that's it. So an S, should it come from that? Let's figure it out. Oh, these are always the worst. I hate S's. The balance on stuff like this just messes my head up. Because we've got that odd, the odd weight to contend with. Yeah, I just don't really know where it needs to land. I think the top of that might be a little bit too much, potentially. Should that bit come down? Oh, this is looking like a real mess at the moment. Why are S's so difficult? Right, where does that go? Let's sharpen that. Yeah, that looks good. I think I'll just give this a little bit of a, instead of it being more like brush sort of style, I'll just pop in a harder end. That's what she said. Just so it mimics the one that's on the end of this. So we'll try and keep sort of consistency throughout with certain like style attributes. And probably, no, that one doesn't need it. But that does. So I'll just do that and then shape build, just for a bit of an easier one. I'm a bit concerned with this. This looks a bit strange to me. I quite like that shape that it's got there, that flow, but I'm just not sure about that bit yet. Yeah, I think it's looking all right. The C worked out better than what I thought it was. See you, Anton. Good to see you. Thanks for joining in. Right, I think we're probably about there with that. I quite like the way that everything's coming together. Probably a little bit of work to do still. Just a bit of tightening up. Bit of spacing work, that kind of thing. The F's a bit far away. But yeah, the basics are all there. I think it's a bit more friendly than the previous one as well. I was going to actually do a little bit of an icon for this with some corks, because that feels like the natural thing to do. Kind of had an idea of stuff being in like a, almost like a star-ish. They're going to be very symbolic looking corks. Not very accurate to a proper cork shape. So I think I'll just do 4 of them like that and change them up so it looks like they've got some unique elements. Right, and arrange them. Yeah, I kind of like the fun vibe that it's got about it. It's got a bit of... It's just, yeah, it looks nice. It looks friendly, I think. That's what I'm going for. Certainly more friendly than this one. This one's... I don't know what I was thinking there. It looks like a brewery. Oh, I quite like how that works there. We could probably use that as a little pattern as well. Right, shape build that thing so it's all together. So I've, as always, just copied it off before making this into one piece, because you might want to go back to it and change it for whatever reason. Although that should be a bit bigger maybe. Nah. Oh yeah, it does now. Right, get rid of that and then go back to the original. The balance looks a bit odd in comparison to the sea. Yeah, much better. I think maybe like a deepish red. Try it on that. Then a prestigious looking green, that's always a good shout. And then obviously standard black and white. Actually, we'll make that one cream, just so it stands out a little bit more. I'm really pleased with that. That's worked out quite well. I think it's something that you do have to concentrate on to be able to read it. It could be a little bit more legible, but that would probably come from just spacing the characters out a little bit more. So it could look like Four Corks, which I don't really want. But yeah, I think we got there with something half decent. I think this would look quite nice as a pattern. So maybe we can try that just for the last, what, 5-10 minutes. Just open the swatches. If you drop that into your colour swatches, it automatically creates a new pattern. Just name it. For C's. And then what you can do is just double click into that and it'll open up your patterns section. You can either make your box bigger and then it'll just pattern it out like that, which looks quite cool, or you can actually then just change up the grids, the grid section, and it gives you slightly different layouts. So the brick ones are quite nice because then it lays it out a little bit sort of off-centered in a brickwork fashion, or you can change it with hex, which kind of then does it a little bit similar to the brick but a little bit more condensed. But I kind of like the brick row. I think that works. Can probably bring it in a little bit more. Just so it's got more of a pattern about it. Then you just apply that pattern to anywhere. You can see how that would work. Look good as some tissue paper or a napkin. Cool. So let's call it a day on that. And hopefully we'll see you in another one soon. I'm going to try and do a few more of these, all kind of logo type based, just this sort of thing, I suppose. So yeah, if you're interested in that, come and check them out. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.